So you're thinking about becoming a football coach, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
It's a gut feel, no doubt, but incredibly rewarding. You sent over a ton of info from RoleCatcher,
I did.
which seems to be like the new resource for aspiring coaches.
It seems to be.
Let's dive into their playbook and see what it really takes to succeed.
Sounds good.
All right.
Let's do it.
So,
What's fascinating about coaching, and this really resonated with me in the RoleCatcher materials, is that it's more than just knowing the X's and O's, you know?
yeah.
It's about leadership, shaping young athletes, and having a real impact that goes way beyond the scoreboard.
And just like on the field, there's a clear structure to a coaching career.
Right.
You might start as an assistant coach, work your way up to head coach, and maybe even become a director of coaching for a major organization.
Exactly. And RoleCatcher actually does a great job of breaking down each stage of a coaching career,
Okay.
from those early days assisting to eventually like calling the shots and managing an entire program.
Okay, before we get ahead of ourselves, let's unpack the core of what a football coach actually does.
Right.
It's more than just running drills, right?
Way more. I remember when I was starting out, I thought I just needed to know the game inside and out.
Yeah.
But according to the RoleCatcher guide, a football coach wears a lot of hats. Of course, there's the technical stuff, designing training plans, improving players' physical skills, teaching them the tactical side of the game.
It sounds almost like being a teacher,
Right.
breaking down these complex concepts into digestible lessons.
Totally. It totally is.
Yeah.
And on top of that, there's the strategic aspect.
Yeah.
Getting the team ready for competition, choosing the starting lineup, making those split-second decisions during a game.
Oh, yeah.
The pressure is definitely on.
Oh, I bet.
They even highlighted how technology is changing how coaches approach these things.
Speaking of tech, RoleCatcher mentioned new tools are changing the coaching landscape.
Yeah.
What are we talking about here?
Things like video analysis tools are becoming essential. And we're not just talking about watching replays.
All right.
These tools allow you to dissect formations, track player movements, even anticipate your opponent's next play.
Whoa.
I wish I had this kind of tech back in my day.
It's like having a superpower, you know?
It is.
Seeing the game from a whole new perspective.
Right.
It makes you wonder how coaches ever managed without it.
Right. And the technology is only getting more advanced, but even with all these amazing tools, a coach still needs that human touch.
Yeah.
The ability to motivate players to read their emotions, to create a winning team culture.
Absolutely. So for someone listening who's thinking, okay, this sounds amazing, but how do I even get started? What does it actually take to break into the coaching world? Do you need to have been a pro player?
Yeah, that's a common misconception.
Yeah.
While playing experience can be helpful, it's not a deal breaker. The RoleCatcher guide actually emphasized the importance of coaching certifications.
Okay.
FIFA, UEFA, those kinds of things.
Got it.
It's about demonstrating your knowledge and expertise, not just your highlight reel.
So it's more about brains than brawn in those early stages.
Yeah.
I like it. RoleCatcher also mentioned something about career stages. What's that all about?
They provide a fantastic breakdown of the typical career path from assistant coach all the way up to director of coaching.
Yeah.
It's like a roadmap for your coaching journey.
Give us a sneak peek. What kind of details are we talking about?
For instance, they describe how an assistant coach might focus on implementing training plans designed by the head coach.
Right.
They're all about learning the ropes and supporting the team's vision. But as you gain experience and move up to head coach,
Yeah.
you become responsible for the overall strategy managing player contracts, even dealing with the media. It shows how your responsibilities evolve as you climb the coaching ladder.
It's a whole other ball game at that level.
Yeah.
And speaking of challenges, RoleCatcher didn't shy away from the tough parts of coaching, did they?
Not at all.
Okay.
They were very upfront about the long hours, the intense pressure, and the constant need to adapt.
It's not all sunshine and trophies, that's for sure. What were some of the specific challenges they highlighted?
They talked about the need to manage different personalities within a team. Something tells me every coach has a story about that one player who kept them on their toes. They also emphasized the importance of navigating conflicts and keeping morale high even during a losing streak.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It sounds like you need the patience of a saint and the skin of a rhino to survive in this field.
Resilience is key. That's
Yeah.
for sure. And speaking of which, they had a whole section on interview prep,
Oh, yeah?
which can be a nail-biting experience.
Oh, I bet. It's probably as nerve-wracking as a penalty shootout. What kind of insider tips did they offer?
Well, first off, they had a bunch of example interview questions. Things
Yeah.
like, what's your coaching philosophy? Or how would you handle a player who's not performing well?
You're right.
They really get into the nitty-gritty of what hiring managers are looking for.
It's like having a cheat sheet for the coaching interview. But let's be real, sometimes it's those curveball questions that really throw you off.
Uh,
Do they have any advice for those?
they sure did. They recommended thinking about your past experiences and having concrete examples ready to share.
Yeah.
They also stress the importance of showcasing your passion for the game and your ability to connect with players on a personal level.
Yeah, it's about demonstrating that you're not just a tactician, but a leader and a mentor. That human element is so crucial.
Absolutely. And this is where it gets really interesting. RoleCatcher has this incredible AI-powered platform called RoleCatcher Copilot that's designed to help you nail those interviews.
AI for interview practice. Tell me more about how that works.
Imagine this. You're prepping for a big interview and you're feeling nervous. You can actually use RoleCatcher Copilot to do a mock interview with an AI coach.
Hold on, I'm talking to my computer pretending as the head coach of Real Madrid. This sounds intense. It's like having a secret weapon in your back pocket. What kind of feedback does it give? Is it just surface level stuff like telling you to make eye contact and not fidget?
It's way more in-depth than that. RoleCatcher Copilot analyzes your answers and provides personalized feedback based on what interviewers in the football world actually look for.
Okay.
For instance, it might suggest using stronger verbs to really sell your achievements or adding specific examples to back up your claims.
So it's not just about catching those nervous habits.
Yeah.
It's about helping you craft the most impressive answers possible.
Exactly.
That's amazing. You mentioned earlier that RoleCatcher had really thought of everything. What else caught your eye?
One thing that stood out, especially for those just starting out, is their feature that connects coaches with potential employers.
Oh, wow.
It's like a networking platform built right into their system.
I love that. It's like they're playing matchmaker for coaches and teams. This has been an incredible deep dive into the world of football coaching, and RoleCatcher seems like an invaluable resource for anyone serious about this path. Before we wrap things up, I have one final question for you. It's a bit philosophical, but it's something I've always wondered. How do you define success as a football coach? Is it all about winning championships? Or is it more than that?
That's a great question. When I think about my own coaching journey and the mentors who shaped me, honestly, it's a balance. Of course, winning feels amazing, but it's not the only measure of success.
Right.
For me, it's also about developing well-rounded athletes, helping them grow not just as players, but as people.
It's about shaping lives, not just game plans. It seems like success in coaching, much like in life, is about the journey, not just the destination.
Exactly. And if this deep dive has taught us anything, it's that the journey of a football coach is full of challenges, triumphs, and incredible learning opportunities. It demands passion, dedication, and a true love for the beautiful game.
Well said. A huge thank you to RoleCatcher for providing the roadmap, and to you, our listeners, for joining us on this exploration. If you're feeling inspired to pursue your own coaching dreams, be sure to check out RoleCatcher. It sounds like they've got everything you need to kickstart your journey.
You won't regret it.
And on that note, it's time for us to hit the locker room. But keep those coaching dreams alive. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep that passion for the game burning bright.